All right, so today's video. I forgot for a second. Give me a second. I remember. We got a silver 3, or no, not even silver 3. I just made up a rank. I know they're silver. I have no idea what silver they are. I just made that up. We're watching a silver support who's playing Kiriko, who says they want to main Kiriko, but they had to switch off because they feel like they have to do everything in these games. They've been silver for the past year. Is there potential here, or are they stuck in silver? We'll find out. Sub to the YouTube. That way you know when my videos go live, so then you're like, whoa, and then there's like more people watching the videos, and there's, you know how it works. Let's see how this one goes.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Waiting gains us.
We are falling apart.
Applesauce, thanks for the 15 months of the Preacher Friend. Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, you know, just this is a start to the game. And Randrock, thank you for the 20 months of Preacher Friend. Dusty, thank you for the 2 months of Preacher Friend. Thanks, everybody. All right, so far, it's so interesting to me.
Hey guys.
That feels much better.
This was your best effort.
Merci. Taking the point. Fall in, E.
Do you think there will be a day where on Blizzard World the map isn't played right here in a lot of ranks? And I only ask because it's such such a difference in how I play Blizzard World. Now keep in mind when I talk about this, I know that like each rank is gonna play differently, but I see it so much where like the fight is here. But when you play here, it just takes away the availability of your team to be able to like hold this point for longer. The moment you break through this choke, that's it. Like there's no more holding that. But I see it held here all the time, which I get because you're holding the choke. Like I'm not saying it's necessarily the worst. I'm just used to holding back here so much because you give yourself so much more map space and availability, and it takes their team time to have to make a play. It's always very interesting to kind of see like the difference in that and why it works that way. I just wanted just a complete side note because now like the other team can't even retake. I mean they can maybe try, but like it's just not as good as it normally would be on a retake.
Soothing your wounds.
Uh-oh. It's just interesting to see. Yep. Well, it doesn't come down to mechanics at that point, Caps, to be honest with you. Because you're going to run into the same thing when they get closer. I'm just curious to that one. What are we watching? A Silver Kiriko, who had to switch off because they have to do everything. And they've been in silver for a year, so we'll find out. Good job TPing out of there and not just trying to take the 1v1 or like spamming your cleanse. That was actually a smart play. There you go. Believe it or not, so like I talk about it a little bit with Kiriko. Kiriko's actually one of the better heroes to go kart initially because you can always swift step into a team fight, especially if your teammates need help. So like it's okay sometimes for the kart to have to push for a little bit, especially if it means you win the team fight. So I think Kiriko's actually pretty good on that. So.
Let the Kitsune guide you. Design at work. Restoring balance. I'm going to get gold, Misty.
Cleanse was a bit late, but so far it's been fine. I don't really look at this and go, you know, like this is fine. I'm watching still. Okay. Nothing's happening so far. And you got rolled. Yeah. Okay, first of all, I want to start off by saying, because you've been pushing the cart so much, I haven't really been able to give you, like, definitive feedback on stuff. One thing I see there is if you get shot at by a Sojourn, which is what you just saw, like, it's okay to TP away and try to make a play off of that. Like, don't feel like you're stuck to the cart as Kiriko, your movement ability is so key, and every time you don't use your movement ability like that and you give them free picks, you're just not using the kit to the effectiveness. At least that's how I see it. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I find that sometimes players feel like they have to be stuck to the cart if they're the only ones pushing the cart, but then the problem is it's like, it's better to survive and win a team fight than to just force the cart an extra 2 meters and go back to spawn. You're gonna waste more time doing that than the time the cart isn't pushing. And I think a lot of players, including myself at times, kind of get glued to the cart because you feel like nobody else is pushing it. But like at a certain point, if you're playing Kiriko, just TP out of there. Go to somebody else in your team. At least then you have an opportunity to survive that, win the team fight, and then push the cart. You don't have to just sit on the cart AFK. Now, when you come to the stream and I'm sitting AFK on the cart AFK, it's because I am just chilling. We're just vibing. Don't use your ult here, just back away. Remember, use your TP out. There you go, like that. That's an example of like, you're getting away from their initial push, you're going to your Widow. That's what you should do consistently in those type of situations. Of course, unless like you just need to get in a limb. So. Do they have to weave between the heals and the kunai more? I mean, they've been AFK on the cart half the time. I say AFK, it's not what they're actually, you know what I mean though. Like, there hasn't been much opportunity on that. And sometimes it depends, like if you're falling behind on heals, like for example, you can't really time that as much as you would normally time that, right? So you lost, I mean, the reason why that team fight was difficult for you is because the other team just straight up played that well. Oh, I know the timing's on the kunai and all that, right? But like, if you're healing your teammate in front of you and you just start, like, you don't necessarily have to just do damage to your teammate when there's nobody else there. You're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get the idea of it, and it's a good thing to do as Kiriko, is try to find that time in between, like, throwing your heals and doing the damage. I'm more saying, like, if you're just specifically healing your teammate, you don't have to just, like, throw a kunai at your teammate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so far this has been pretty chill. I'm okay with the cleanse. I mean, you're not really saving any cleanse right now. Taking the off angle, they're on your Widow. You gotta pick. You're not healing your Zen gets rolled. You know, I actually see something that you do a lot, and I just recognized it now. You tunnel vision a lot on wherever you're looking. Like, once you see somewhere you want to go, every part of the map after that doesn't matter to you. So, like, that's how your Zenyatta gets rolled by the Zarya there, right? Like, a Zarya's gonna do a lot of damage, but, like, you had plenty of opportunity to keep your Zen alive. Literally, just even a teleport cleanse quick heal, your Zen survives that, and it's an easier team fight. So, like, definitely good to turn around. It also happened to your Ramattra. Remember when your Ramattra got grabbed, and then your Genji went to the back line? Your team ended up dealing with a Genji just fine. You focus so hard on the Genji, your Ramattra gets rolled. So, like, that's what I mean by tunnel vision. So you can do a better job of scanning your map as you go. But so far, like, I can't really see much to go off of yet. Like, you're not playing terribly. It's just, there isn't a lot going on right now either. Because you're generally on the card. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. I'm watching. Go for that Zarya with your teammate. Now, don't be afraid to TP out because your HP got low. Hey, you have his Discord over. Like if you, yeah, I was gonna say, good job TP in there. Even if they get you here, what you just did is create an opportunity for you to survive this team fight, and you did. Look at, that's what I mean. Like, I find that a lot of Kirikos get so afraid to use their Swift Step, but it's like such a quick cooldown that it's like the equivalent of like me saving my Diva flight. Like I don't know if that is like the best comparison, but like if I'm playing Diva and I just decide to save my Diva ult, like my Diva flight the whole time and not do anything, like, it is such a low cooldown that, like, It's good to just use it to make sure you survive a team fight or give yourself an opportunity. Make them have to overextend. Like, for example, the Ramatra thought they had you. You TP'd. Or was it the Zarya? Excuse me, the Zarya. They thought they were gonna have a free elim on you. They didn't get the free elim. Then you had to do like a rotation, and it all worked out. Like they got over committed to the play, and then you were fine. Here we go.
Everybody holds. Nobody runs.
Holding the choke, which we've talked about. This part of the map is always interesting. You know, it's still. I will say though, you said you feel like you have to do everything. What do you mean by that so far? Okay, let's just take. Oh, look at the kill feed. You're doing everything. I just feel like I haven't quite seen where you're in the concept of doing everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of the time you're just kind of chilling and you're healing, which is fine. And that's charging the Zarya bubbles. That's fair. If you want me to answer your question, is there potential for you to get out of silver after a year? Yeah, absolutely. Like, in theory, you're probably really close to getting out of there. I wouldn't doubt it if, like, next season's rank, a lot of people get to ranks they think they should be at. If it's been fine. A little bit out of position there. Same concept of, like, just use your TP. You said they should have posted a game where they struggle. Yeah, but, like, you know, I always say this. Whether it's a win or a loss, you can always learn from a game. And that's, like, becomes a part of the problem. It's like, oh, I'm only going to showcase my losses, like, or a game where you go 0-20. The thing is like, sometimes the games where you go, like, 15-8 and it's a close game and you feel like you played okay is good to watch because that's how you're going to improve. Like, you're not gonna play perfect in those games. So, like, when you watch that, you can fix some of, like, the things that you can fix some of the things that also, by the way, that was another situation where you didn't TP out and you just got too aggressive. It's like one of those things where you can learn from wins and losses. If you only focus on, like, the games you go 0-20 as the best way to improve, you have way more opportunity to go look at a game where you felt like you played okay and realize that, like, oh, this is something I can improve on. The next thing you know, you're getting better at that, which is minimizing how much you're going 0-20 because you're playing better in your games, right? You're increasing how well you play in a game overall, rather than just trying to, like, look at, like, your outlier games where you go 0-20 and then go, oh, that's the game where we have to really look at, right? Like, you want to look at that game, of course, but you can also look at other games and get the same stuff. So. Well, no, what's happening now is exactly what they said in the like, what we described. They think they have to do too much, and now they're trying to do too much. So what's happening? Now the team is starting to get snowballed, and they feel like they need to do even more, when in reality, the biggest thing that changed was they started to change up their play style because they felt like they had to do everything. And that becomes a problem in itself, right? I talk about it all the time where if I'm getting 2 elims as Diva every single team fight, but we're losing 4, what is going to be more valuable? Me going back to my team and help my teammates, or getting 2 elims and going, why? What are you guys doing? Right? If my teammates are getting dove and I'm not peeling for them, and I'm able to trade 2 elims, what happens if I just keep my teammates alive during their dive? I keep them alive, then we go pop off and we win. So, Ana now? Yep. Off of Kiriko. Which, I mean, you were playing Kiriko way too aggressive right there. Yeah, your gameplay has shifted. So remember when I said you weren't really doing much at the beginning of the VOD? Like, you were just kind of chilling and you were playing it safe, which is fine. You then felt like you had to do way more, and now you're actually doing more for the enemy team. This is exactly what's happened. You feel like you have to do more in the game, when in reality, what you were doing was fine to begin with. You're seeing it happen. Did you feel that balance when you play more? I mean, yeah, that's why Overwatch is a lot of decision making. Like, right there, I want to point out your positioning was pretty solid. You played that correctly. Now, what's the problem now? What are you starting to do? Okay, now this is good. You're starting to back up a little bit, but watch your movement. You're starting to go forward a little bit. I want you to see this. Like, don't... I want you to nano somebody so badly. Here we go. I was kind of hoping you would nano like your Zen or something to guarantee that, but it ended up working out. Like, I want you to watch how your positioning keeps shifting. Okay? Platinum, thank you for the 3 months of the British Prime set. Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, starting off in a good position. Now what's happening? Kind of going over peeking the edge. Okay, so go. You're gonna end up in a spot where you're over peeking the top. I want to see how this goes before I comment fully on it. Or your Genji got to pick. So what happens is you end up in a good spot up here, but then, yeah, exactly. You lose the sight line on your teammate, and they have map controls, and you end up having to drop down. You survive it, but, like, think about how that would have been if your Genji didn't get an initial pick, right? You're getting it from YouTube, so to watch Twitch. Welcome. You see what's happening here? By the way, this is good positioning. This is an example of good positioning, right? Like you may lose this team fight, but you're doing this thing again where... Yep. Why are you trying to... See, like, here's what I don't understand, okay? Is you end up in a good spot, all right? And I want you to kind of see, like, what's happening. If you went to the cart there and got rolled, I would have been like, you know what? All right, fair enough. Like, I see what you're doing, and you're trying to die in the cart. But then you want to get close range to him, which maybe you want to heal them. Maybe you feel more comfortable close range healing. Maybe you feel... But then you run away again rather than die in the cart. And this is what I mean by, like, this decisiveness that sometimes will happen where you feel like you need to go and do more there. When in reality, you can do two things. You sit there, spam heal as much as you can, build your ult charge, or run to the cart and die in cart. You do neither of that, and then you get less value than you would have gotten even in a lost team fight. Remember, that 15% ult charge could be make or break for you having a nano next team fight. Focus on good position in here. Like, right here is fine. You do not have to move yet. You don't have to move yet. You don't... You see this tendency you have? Okay. And I want... I think I found a way to help you a bit because you mentioned, like, is there potential for you to get to gold? Because you've been in silver for a year. You do this thing where you start to, like, slowly move forward in a team fight, okay? Let me show you something. Stay right here during that time. Heal your teammates, okay? If you feel like, oh, I miss my honor grenades a lot, I mean, truthfully, go into the training range, throw some honor grenades, understand the lob distance, understand the range. There you go, okay? It's gonna take time, but that can help with your accuracy on that. Just stay here, okay? You win the team fight, then you can adjust your positioning. But you don't have to, as the team fight goes, start to do this. Then you keep moving forward, you keep moving forward, you keep moving forward, you keep moving forward. Okay, you make it here. But yeah, you see what I'm saying? You start to slowly get aggressive towards them. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but what ends up happening is this is where, like, you get headshot by a Widow. Now you go, well, I'll be fine, my spawn's right there. But then what happens if your Sigma then takes a headshot from the Widow? Okay, and now keep in mind, I don't have a Widow, I'm just giving you an example. Now your Sigma has to back up. You give up map control because you decided to go and run aggressively to the cart, and those little things can then lead to a loss, even though it's not like a major mistake that's happening in game, like you falling off the map or something, right? Like, it's those things add up, so that's why it's always good to kind of clean up in the areas of, like, you're playing too aggressive or you're going... By the way, good honor grenade right there. So I just watched you throw that honor grenade at the distance. It was perfectly accurate. Why are you running at them in a straight line to try to, like, grenade a Zarya that you can do the same distance from? I just watched you throw a perfectly accurate honor grenade. See what your Ashe did? Got too aggressive. Why? They were going to a spot where they thought they could... Okay, now I've watched you throw two fairly accurate honor grenades. You should not be running at them now. I'm watching this. Nano! And this is the stuff I talk about. You're like, oh, I end up having to do too much. I end up having to, like, do everything. Like, you just had an opportunity to save your Sigma with a nano, which can lead to you holding this team fight because you're gonna be able to counter some of their ults. What happens? You get rolled. Guess what you have now? You have a nano. You can't save until next round, so if they put 3 on the card here, you know you're going to be nanoing? Someone completely random last second and hope they do something. Here we go.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Do you see that? Do you see your nano? That's my point. So, these are the things that you can clean up to improve. Like, those are the moments that you can absolutely improve at, and you'll be fine. But that's like, hopefully you recognize that when you see this. Because saving nano for next round is a big brain play that nobody expects. That's true, you're right. I actually keep doing that. You wish you could actually save ults between rounds? We had that in a game mode one time we tried. People seem to like it. I'm watching. I actually don't mind that TP. I'm really curious to see what happens now because there's Zarya's at your choke. I want to see what happens. Good job by your team, though. You took map control. Nice job. It looks like your Moira 1v1 the Zarya. Worked out perfectly. I know you tried to TP there, so I'm not going to comment on that one. You definitely tried to TP. Like, I just watched you literally, you try to TP that. You could hear the sound and everything, too. Just the timing. Just like that split-second timing. Just wait and spawn. You're going to win the team fight. Just interact. You go. Remember, chat, you can interact. Use your interact key if you get stuck in that spot.
I'm here.
It's a feature they added, like, quite a bit ago, actually.
Under my protection. Time to move the payload. Let me balance you out.
TP backwards. TP. Oh, let's see what happens. Damn. Zarya might be able to clutch this. No, that's it. Wow, that was something. It's been an interesting game because like there hasn't been a lot of like green screen moments for this game. It's been pretty. It's best way to explain this and how I see it. You just need to work on not trying to do too much. You said it yourself. You felt like you had to do everything, when in reality, when you started to try to do everything, it ended up going in the favor of the other team, and you were giving them free limps. And, like, you just, like, aren't using your cooldowns the way that you want to use them. You fix those, you'll climb. You'll be out of silver soon. Is it cactus? That's great. I'm watching. That's not your bad. That's your Genji getting remeched on. What was the problem you made, though? Your Genji got remeched on, but you try to go into their team. You see what I mean? Trying to do too much. Sometimes if your Genji goes into their team, you just gotta, you know, be like, all right, I'll wait a second. And that happens with a lot. I've talked about it before where, like, and I've seen this especially with, like, when people are on Mercy, is like, sometimes you try to go save your teammate because your teammate's out of position, but then your teammate being out of position actually results in you getting rolled. And it's not necessarily on you because you just, like, you really want to help your teammate. But sometimes if your teammates go in too deep and go, like, too far into the enemy team, you're not gonna, like, you're just gonna lose that value and get rolled, and then you both go back to team. So, this is Silver. This is Silver. I'm watching still. Good start. Good heals here. Nice job. Watch your, just for a second, watch your Widow. Remember, your Widow had a baby diva on him. Okay, they got the Elim. You're good. Valk ASAP. You're good to go. You should have this. Yeah, you have this. 100%. There's no way you lose this. I don't even mind the battle mercy here. Just keep your teammates alive when they need to be. Yeah, you're good. Nice. Good job. But yeah, just to summarize, you said you felt like you had to do everything in this game. I'll be honest with you, you did not have to at all. There was at no point did I see in this game where you had to do everything. You just didn't. There wasn't like any... Watching this game, I didn't see anything where I was like, oh, you really have to step it up here. Your teammates were playing fine. You were playing fine. Out of nowhere, you're like, oh, we lost a team fight. I have to do everything now. And then that resulted in you getting rolled about 4 team fights in a row. And then here you are in an overtime game that probably shouldn't have been an overtime game, and you got the win. So it's just to give you an idea on that one. Like, you see what happened here? You just decided that you needed to do everything, and then you didn't have to. So try not to put yourself in those spots as much as that, like as much as possible. Use your cooldowns a little bit more on Kiriko, and just work in your position, and don't run at them in a straight line as Ana. You'll be fine. You'll climb. Is there potential to climb out of silver after a year? Yeah, you got this. All right, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, sub to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't. Pretty much every day uploads on all 3 channels now, so make sure to stop by all of them if you have not. If you want to submit your own spectator, join my Discord in the description below. You'll see my Discord, and follow everything in the description if you haven't. We record these live on stream. Look below the chat right there. You'll see the Twitch chat. So stop by the stream if you haven't. We have a lot of fun here. And with that being said, hope you have an amazing day/night.